Okay, progress is being made. So here's everything all tore apart. I pulled the interior out of here. What a mess. Holy cow. You can see we've got floor pans. We are in need of floor pans. The floor pans are in a little bit rough shape. Not all super. I mean, I knew the car had holes. Like, I knew that. I mean, you could peek your head underneath the car and you could see it. Wasn't too worried about it, you know. But so here's where we are. The interior is pulled out. I'm gonna get some poster board or something to put over the windows in the front and the back. I've done that in the past. It's worked okay. I'm gonna come up with a way to protect the headliner because I don't want to tear that out. I haven't really figured that out just yet. I think I'm gonna try to get like some sort of a blanket or something to pull it across and maybe clip it to the edge out here. Just because I don't want to monkey around with trying to pull it out and then having it not survive and tear, and it's like, I don't know. I just don't want to risk. I've never torn one of those out, and I just don't want to risk it. So the floors, I knew the floors were patched, but it's kind of fun. I mean, we probably got like 3 generations of patching going on here. Look at these floors are horrible. So we had all this was patched with different metals and materials, and it looks like someone used a caulk gun with some regular old household caulking to glue down some carpet at some point. So that was interesting. But I cleaned everything out here, got it all set up, and then I'm going to start game planning. You know, these floors are, I knew the floors were rough, but these things are a little rougher than I intended, than I originally expected them to be. It's just the floors are in rough shape, to say the least. So I don't know if they make floor pans for this car, so I think I'm going to just come up with a way to figure it out. I might just bead roll some stuff. I don't know. Well, once I get into it, I don't know, we'll figure it out. But, you know, we got the seat mounts that are here, seat mount there, seat mount, and you can see it's rusted all the way out, and it rusted out all this main support for that seat mount and underneath that seat mount. So someone put a piece of metal in underneath that seat mount. So I don't know. I think is what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to cut the floor out from basically from this support going forward, and I think I'm going to make 2 pieces. So I'll make a piece that goes over there, ties into the firewall up there, a piece over here that ties into the firewall. And the reason why I think I'm going to do it that way is that I still have to cut the tranny hump. The transmission, this car has a very low profile transmission tunnel, and there's no way I'm going to get anything to fit in there. So I know I need to cut the transmission tunnel. I won't know for sure how much I got to cut the transmission tunnel until I get a transmission, but I think I can swag it to make it work. The gas pedal and stuff's all set up. There's plenty of room. I can open it up pretty good. So what I was thinking is just creating a panel that ties in here that's flanged, that comes back, flanged on the back side, and then it'd be really easy for me to attach a new transmission tunnel to the flange pieces. We'll see. So the nice thing is that this support's in good shape, right? And then there's a support underneath the car that's like right in front of this. That's in good shape. So the main supports are there. They're in good shape. We'll just build off of that. The nice thing is, too, is having these supports in it and connected and solid. The cabin area is not moving. The cabin area is not flexing and stretching out. And, you know, our gaps are going to be fine. Everything's going to be good there. So doors are in really good shape. I pulled the doors off. They're over there in the corner for now. I'll figure out what I'm going to do with them for the winter. But the doors are in really good shape. They're heavy. Holy cow. So I'm going to get some pegboard. I rolled the back windows down. I'm going to get some poster board, and I'm going to cover up the back window, both sides. I'm going to cover up the windshields, both sides. I've learned my lesson with sparks and cutting and welding with glass in the past. You need to make sure you protect your glass. And then I'm going to come up with a way, I'm going to come up with like maybe like an industrial sheet or some sort, or something that I can just clamp up here with some clamps and get it clamped up to the top, get it clamped up on the sides to help protect the headliner, because I'm scared to death to pull the headliner out. Yeah, it's not perfect. It's got a hole there and a hole there, but it's a hell of a lot better than no headliner. So we're going to try and do our best to protect that. And also we're going to come up with a way to protect the dash and stuff. So, Anyways, yeah, she's got holes. Up here up front, I pulled the fender off. You know, like I think I talked earlier about the headlights and things, but you know, the headlights were rotted out pretty good. I'm gonna have to make a new piece there. No big deal. That's this headlight bucket that's here on the driver's side. You can see here that, you know, she's all right. There's like nothing holding this in here. The passenger side one is in really good shape, so I know exactly how they're supposed to look. So it shouldn't be too bad to make a pattern and get something figured out there. Fender's in fairly good shape, believe it or not. It's hard to believe that this car survived as long as it did in Minnesota with only the rust there, and I think the only reason why this car survived is because it was heavily undercoated. I mean, heavily undercoated. And the stuff is like 1/4 inch thick in some areas. So that undercoating most definitely helped, because I think this thing there would have been nothing left of it. So I'm going to end up cutting. I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do yet, but it will either be cut from here. So like, do you see that up, and then from here up? So basically be, you know, basically this whole frame rail assembly will be gone. It'll be cut. Remove this section forward. Cut all this out. Remove this section forward. So then there would just be this small wheel well tub that's open, and then I would have to cut out for the headers and stuff if I needed to. You know, I'm not exactly sure where all that stuff is going to land. See, the thing of it is that this factory unibody piece has a considerable hump in it, and my frame rail is going to have a basically 6-inch riser that comes straight across the intersector right here. So the frame rail is much lower. So there's going to be a lot of room right there. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this line right here first. We'll cut that line first, cut it all the way out, and I'll just kind of cut this support and stuff and keep that there for now. And then nip it off right there, do the same thing on this side, and then I'm just going to kind of take, and I'm going to probably maybe mock up some frame rails up there and just take a look at it all. And I'll make a decision off of that. But I think how this is all going to work is I'm going to probably end up just cutting up from here, leaving this section, clean all this up, you know, leaving that section. But I might even cut it from right here. So from this guy up, across, cut that off, remove this whole entire front section. So basically I would just cut right down here, cut in there, remove this whole front section, just get it out of here. The support structure of the actual, like, I don't know if you want to call it the cabin area or the firewall, all this, it's in pretty good shape. So it's gonna hold up. I mean, obviously we got a hole down here, and that's on both sides, but it's gonna hold up pretty well, and it shouldn't flex too much when I cut everything apart. So I'm not too concerned there. And then what I would do then is that I would remove all of this support structure for the fender. I would just put in maybe like 3/4 inch square, or maybe just build my own pieces out of flat stock. But I would just tie in, basically I was thinking about just tying in back here and running it forward, or tie in back here. I don't know. But anyways, I've got some different avenues to get to where I want to be. I just need to evaluate what I want to, exactly how I want to do it. Anyways, I think it's gonna be okay. I think I can cut a lot of that material out, get rid of it, and we'll still have plenty of strength up here in the front end. So. Look at what I've done. So basically I cut the whole entire front subframe section out. Cut it up out to here, kept it going across, was consistent. And then I'm gonna have to do some patchwork here, no problem. Should be a pretty easy piece, probably do it in two. But we're making some good progress. Stuff's starting to happen. It's like every time I come out here and work on this thing, I get a little more pumped. Cut ended up, I just leveled the line off of it. The car should be fairly level to the ground still. I mean, it has moved around some while I've been working on it, but so I leveled the line off that. Cut it with the grinder. If I'm yelling, I'm sorry, I got my earplugs in. But now we're gonna do the same thing over here. Follow the same path, make it look exactly like the passenger side. Try not to cut the wiring harness out, which is not a big deal. This thing is such a simple wiring harness. I think I could probably whip one up in about a day. Anyways,